Hello everyone, I am Kian and I have been assigned to report on the second topic in Module 7, which talks about how people read materials on the web. I hope that you're going to gain some insights with my discussion. So it is essential to note that reading print materials is different from reading materials online. In 1997, Jacob Nielsen, dubbed as the guru of web page usability, conducted a study about how people read online. To his amazement, he found out that people don't actually read online materials word by word. They just simply scan for specific information. So one might consider data in 1997 as archaic and obsolete. However, this report still holds true up to this date. Another study conducted by the same Nielsen company 20 years later resulted to the same observation for online reading. So here is a chart based on a study conducted by Xerox PARC showing that web users do when using online materials. 71% of the time, they simply collect information. So they gather ideas from multiple online sources about a certain topic or issue. For instance, they want to collect a variety of perspectives about how people read online, so they need to seek various web pages about this topic and gather relevant information about it. Now, 25% of the web users make use of their time looking for specific content. So just like looking for a concrete information about a certain word or statistical data. For instance, you might want to check out a movie in a cinema online. So you already have a very clear idea as to what to check or what to monitor online. That is why you automatically type in the word or the phrase in the search engine, and automatically it will navigate you to that certain site. Now, 2% of web users just look around with no specific goal. So probably this is what we commonly refer to as browsing or surfing. So you don't really have anything in mind. You just have to look for certain web pages without having a certain goal. Now, the remaining 2% of the web users are just monitoring update of the same website, just like checking CNN or ABS-CBN for the latest news. So given this data as to what they do when using online materials, how much of a web content are they actually reading? So another research conducted by Nielsen Norman Group analyzed 50,000 page views of web users consisting of psychologists, sociologists, engineers, and other working professionals. They found out that web users only look at 20% of the words on a web page. That's just a minute portion of a textual content. So what they normally consume in a certain web page is not really the full text per se, but that's just a portion of the material. So where are they actually looking? So which words do they actually read? So in a study conducted by Conversion XL, web visitors focused their attention on the following portions of a web page. 97% of web users only read headlines for 2.9 seconds. So imagine that very small amount or that parcel of a text will be the only focus for some web users. Now, that reading time only consists of 7 words. Now, 98% of web users only read text or the one sentence summary under the headline, and they spend 2.8 seconds reading words in that portion, while more than 90% only read captions. So aside from these sections, web users look at subheadings, bulleted lists, bold-faced, and italicized text. So if you are planning to write your own web page, that's where you'll put most of the important messages you want to be noticed by your um, web visitors. So is the number one thing people do on websites, but people try to read as little as possible. So Nielsen, Cara Pernisi, and Catherine Whitenson, authors of How People Read on the Web, conducted another research about gaze patterns and said that people usually block their page or organize their page visually in a way that it would suit their valued clientele. So the page is organized visually plays a big role in how people scan its content. So if web users are not reading everything on a page, how do people scan a web content? So to better explain this query, I will present a video created by the same Nielsen group explaining the gaze patterns of web users. So let's all take a look.
The F pattern, also known as the F-shaped scanning pattern, is an approach people take to reading on the web. We observe people reading this way when we do eye tracking research, during which we use technology which enables us to see what people are fixating on, what they're looking at as they read on the web. In action, the F pattern appears to look like the letter F. So a person begins reading on the left side of a column of text, and as they read, they move to the right. And then they move back to the left, and when they move to the right, they'll read a little bit less. And they move back to the left and read a little bit less and a little bit less. And it ends up appearing to be the capital letter F, roughly. We also see the F pattern on mobile devices, but it's smaller. And in languages when people read from right to left, like Arabic, we also see the F pattern, but it's reversed. So why does the F pattern happen? It happens because people are trying to minimize the work they need to do and maximize the benefit they get from that work. For eye tracking, that means they're trying to economize on the number of fixations that they do on a page and learn the most that they can from the content that they actually do look at. Page layout also plays a major role in whether people scan in the F pattern. If we present a wall of text to users that has no formatting and isn't written for the web, they're going to find their own path through that text. And we can do things to make it much easier for people to scan text. For example, use chunking of text. Use bullets, and more important than anything, use headings and subheadings within the text, and make those headings look different from normal text, larger, a different color, bolder, a different typeface. Any of these things can work. And with that, users are able to scan to the headings and decide if those words are things that they're interested in. And if they are, they'll read the normal text below it. And if not, they'll read to the next heading. And that's a different pattern that we see people revealing when they read on the web. And I like to call that one the layer cake pattern. I was hungry when I named that one. It resembles a layer cake with the frosting and the cake. So layer cake is a good pattern. F pattern is one that can and should be avoided. The F pattern
So those are the common reading patterns for web users, the F pattern and the layered cake pattern. So based on the video, we can probably say that page layout plays a critical role in how people read the web. If the page layout allows users to quickly identify the essential information, users will save a lot of effort and will be able to accomplish their goals more efficiently. So given the topics covered in this report, I hope that you have learned a thing or two about how people read online. For supplementary readings of the resources included in this report, please browse the following online reference materials. Thank you so much for listening.